Hi, my name is Lucy Freeman, and today we're going to make sancocho y sofrito.
Hey there, this is Neena and this is Memoirs of a Fat Girl, going from FAT to PHAT, which is pretty healthy and terrific in real time. And I have my friend Lucy here with me. You guys, if you haven't seen her yet, you should look back at the video that we did for the molten chocolate cake. That was awesome.
Yes.
We actually had messed up on that, so we had to taste 2 cakes. Anyway, big girl problems, big girl problems. So today, Lucy was asking me to make her this dish that she absolutely loves, which is called sancocho. And it is basically a Puerto Rican beef stew, if you will. It's just a little bit more hearty. But before we do that, I figured, you know what? Let me also teach her how to make sofrito, because that's another thing she's always asking me for. She is half Puerto Rican, so she's trying to, she's trying to get into her roots, But anyway, so sofrito is really, really easy, and I'm gonna make sure that I link that below for you. So Lucy, what do you want to learn sofrito for?
Because it's so tasty. It makes everything taste good. I don't know.
It does, right? It does. And you know what sofrito is? For those of you who don't know, it is basically an herb and vegetable mixture that we make into a really thick sauce, and that is actually used for a lot of different things. Now you can pretty much use it for anything. It's vegan, so you can definitely use it for any vegan dishes, but you can also use it on any protein. So it goes good with fish and pork and beef and chicken. I mean, everything really. We also use it to flavor our rice, our beans, soups, stews, everything. So I wanted to get into that first. So the first thing we're gonna do is, I had taken some peppers that we have. So I'm gonna give you this recipe too, so you can take it home.
Okay, great.
And a lot of times what we do is we have a lot of different kind of peppers. So I've cut up some, these are called Italian peppers. They're like these long green peppers. You ever seen them before? So those are those. And then I have some red peppers, which I'm gonna have you chop for me here. And I also put in a jalapeno. Now you don't have to use jalapeno, but I seeded, I took all the seeds out and everything, so it's not so spicy. Okay, but I actually like a little tiny bit of a kick, that's why I put it in there. But it's not enough to like make you not want it,
And the Italian pepper is not hot.
It's not hot at all, no. So we did the Italian pepper, I did a couple of green bell peppers, and now we're gonna do the red. I put a red in here already, and some tomato, basically, and a white onion. So you can use a large white onion, you can use yellow onions too. I just kind of like the way the white onion tastes in here. And then literally that much garlic. So you are gonna use about a whole head of garlic. Take them out, peel them. A really good trick, if you don't know this, is you put them in a metal bowl with like a plate on top, and you shake the heck out of it, and all of the skin falls right off. And so then you have peeled garlic, okay? So that's gonna go in here. And so what we're gonna do now is, why don't you go ahead, and all you're gonna do, Lucy, let me read this one. All you're gonna do is literally cut it, take the seeds out, and then all you're gonna do is cut it into big chunks.
Okay.
And that's it. And so tomatoes, sometimes people don't really know how to seed tomatoes. There's 2 ways, right? So if you cut it like this, like the equator, right? Then you can just squeeze everything out of it, like that. Okay, so it's seeded. Another way, the way I like to do it usually in the kitchen, is I cut the ends with a sharper knife, because something's up with my knife. And then I literally, this is called paring. And paring is, all you're doing is cutting everything around. And all I'm gonna end up with is a big thing, of seeds, basically, in the center.
Oh, see, I missed that. I was so busy trying to get these 3 seeds out of here.
So basically what I did was I went around, so I cut around the skin this way, and I left just the seeds in the center. See, so where'd it go? I don't even know where I put it. Oh, here it is. So this is literally just the seeds,
okay.
Yeah. And that's just a fancy way to do it. Definitely doesn't have to be. You don't have to.
Is it okay that there's a couple of seeds? Just
yes,
for full disclosure, I'm not like a super great cook or anything, so you're gonna have to forgive me. It's okay if it's a few seeds in
Absolutely.
there? Okay.
Yep, the seeds are not gonna really hurt you. Sometimes you'll see that people don't take seeds out at all. They just cook with it. I just happen to not really like all of those seeds in my food. But you can definitely do it. So as members of a Fat Girl, guys, sofrito is actually a good staple thing to have in your fridge, because it's low in fat, it's completely natural. Like I said before, it's vegan. Everything I got is organic, so you can kind of like play with it however you like. And sofrito, there's like a little bit of a science, but not really. So it's really what your mama made.
Science.
You know, there's no science. There's not like, oh, you know, if you have to use a ratio of this to a ratio of that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's no science to it. It literally is just, my mama made it with this. My mother didn't make it with this. My grandmama made it with that.
A little bit of that.
You know?
Pinch this.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's Puerto Ricans right now screaming at the screen, no! Put a jalapeno, what's wrong with you? That's Mexican. It's not like that, you know? So, you know, and sofrito actually,
Are these good?
that's perfect, yep. Sofrito actually has different, I don't know if you ever heard other people talk about sofrito from different countries, but they are different. So like say an Italian says we're gonna make sofrito, really what they do is they take like tomato and peppers and garlic and stuff like that and they cook it on the stove. So that's their sofrito. It's very different than ours, right? Ours is really like, you know, I don't know if you want to try this at home, but it's so good. So if you take the sofrito and you put it in with like a little bit of sour cream and mayo, you make a dip out of it. Listen here, fat girls know the stuff. Okay?
Man. I got some sour cream in the house too. I need to find something to do with it.
You know what? Some vegetables. Just do some carrot sticks and peppers and oh my god, I'm not kidding. So good. Okay.
You want me to cut that?
Yeah, if you can, if you don't mind, that would be awesome. And literally, it's a rough chop, so don't worry about being fancy. Just take the skin off.
You know, fancy ain't what I do.
So everything goes in here. I'm gonna blend this a little bit so I can bring this down. And sometimes you have to do this in batches. We are going to use a lot of cilantro. So I like a lot of cilantro in mine. Some people just use like one bunch. I'm gonna use 2 big bunches. I'm also gonna use a little bit of parsley just because I really like parsley, and so I want it to be together, and that's what I'm going to use. But I'm going to blend this up first, so don't mind the noise. I'll make sure that I cut this part out. Alright, so I'm going to take this. I already washed all of this last night, and so I'm going to just literally just rough chop like that, and in it goes.
Where you put all your garbage?
Oh, I haven't. I put it in the sink, but that's okay. I can take my phone because I want to clean that
All the
out.
seeds.
I don't care about the seeds. Oh, but you're making me cry.
Now, why didn't yours do that?
Maybe because I chopped it faster. I'm just saying.
Because I'm a professional and you're not. It's okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. Because the onion knew I was a chef and you were not, so the onion decided to only cry for you. That's hilarious. So one of the things my mom does, and a lot, again, you know, everybody does this a little bit differently, but one of the things my mom does, and I love my mother's sofrito, is she puts a little olive oil in it. My mother puts a little bit of olive oil in it. I probably will, only because I like the flavor of olive oil, but you don't want to put too much because it's not supposed to be an oily, like a dressing. It's supposed to be like a thick base, right? So another thing I will tell you not to add is salt, because you're gonna salt your own food. Right. So now if you start salting your sofrito and your food, you know what I'm saying? It just becomes to be too much salt, and you're not gonna realize that until after you've cooked it and you go, whoa, this is salty, you know? So this is pretty much it. We're gonna put the next cilantro batch in once I bring this down.
Have had cilantro like a little pieces, you know, like you buy that whole big thing and you have to use a little.
And you don't use it, yeah. But you know what? Even when you're home and you have that much cilantro and you feel like, wow, I'm gonna do it all this, because sometimes we have to throw it out.
Yeah.
Don't chop it up with some garlic and a little olive oil, and then you always have a little bit of a sauce or something to put right over your steak and over your meat. You know what I'm saying? So, steak and meat is the same thing. Steak and meat is the same thing. But you can use it as a literally to coat things, like even pasta or a little bit of rice or something like that. So don't throw it out, you know. I have a hard time growing cilantro, guys. So if anybody who's watching knows how to grow cilantro, can you help a sister out? Because I cannot grow cilantro.
What happens when you put it in?
I put it in and it sprouts a little bit and then dries out and dies. And I don't know why. It's with the other herbs. The other herbs are doing great. I cannot make cilantro grow. And I'm like, what is, I'm a Hispanic. I should know this.
She needs your help, people.
I need your help. All right, that is pretty much a sofrito. And it's really, like I said, It's good, right? It is so good. And the thing with, hold on.
Wow.
The thing with a sofrito like this is a real sofrito. That's when you can see all of the different colors. It almost looks like Christmas, right?
Yeah.
It looks like Christmas. When you buy them at like a frozen product, sometimes they'll be really, really green, right? That's because they do use a lot of like cilantro and coriander and culantro, which I couldn't find. Culantro is like a long leaf, and we use it a lot. It's almost like they call it like a spicy cilantro. They call it. You know, it's hard to explain, but it's a beautiful herb. I couldn't find it anywhere. Couldn't find it.
Not even Food Bazaar?
No, I didn't go to Food Bazaar. I don't know where that's at.
But there's one in Bridgeport. Next time I go, I'll look for it because they have everything. I'm not doing a commercial for Food Bazaar, but they usually have a lot of you know, like dishes for like Asian, West Indian.
Oh, nice. Things you can't find.
Yeah.
I actually went to a Spanish produce place, and they just didn't have it.
Wow.
I know, I was surprised. But this is basically your sofrito, guys. This is what it looks like, and it is. I mean, I wish you could be in this kitchen with us because it smells so good. It smells so good. Now this is a lot because I wanted Lucy to take some home with her. Yes, I was hoping you would say that. And now I'm on camera, so I gotta do it. Anyways,
that's a lot. So I need some of that. With me.
Yeah, it's actually. I might have some of the frozen stuff now so I can show you guys the difference. But the good thing about this is I already know what I put in it. We didn't put anything funny in here. We didn't have to have any additives, no xanthan gum, no coloring, nothing like that. It is literally just a bunch of vegetables and herbs. So that's it, Lucy. That's how easy it is. So any questions on this so far?
Very doable.
Yeah.
I can absolutely do this for myself without a problem. I do have a
food processor?
Food processor.
You can do it in a blender too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and if you do it in the blender, it'll probably be more green because you're gonna really blend up the cilantro and the parsley. I just happen to like the little bit of chunk in it, you know, like that little, you know, it looks like confetti to me.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Looks like confetti.
Can you show that to the?
Yes, see that?
Look at that, all the little red specks and all the little green specks.
Can you guys see? Because if you can't. Sorry, that means I didn't set up my camera right. Anyway, so I am going to end this segment right here because we are going to come back, and when we come back, we are going to set up to make the sancocho. So stay tuned.